Welcome back to episode 79 of Mr. Benfica, reviewing the UEFA Youth League final. We just reviewed the entire final. Special hello to everybody now watching on YouTube. All right, if you're joining us on YouTube for the first time, hello, welcome. My name is Mike Agustino. I am the host of this podcast, the Mr. Benfica podcast. And this is an exclusive segment just for Mr. Benfica. As you know, the entire podcast you just listened to was a co-production. So it was the same exact episode for Mr. Benfica and for my PTB UEFA Youth League review show on the PTB network. Okay. On my network of podcasts. So I was killing two birds with one stone, but I wanted to enter with this exclusive segment for my Mr. Benfica listeners, the ones that have been here now for 79 episodes. We are still here. Can you believe it? It has been like a year and a half now. We go back to February of 2019 when this began, and now here we are it's after midnight, so it is now September the 1st. It is September the 1st, 2020, and we are moving towards the 2020-2021 season, but this is the final match to review from 2019-2020. So I want to first thank everybody who has followed me all season. I do still have more episodes to come before the new season begins. I have been telling you about, and I am working diligently on that. I also have a developer working on MrBenfica.com. So that is coming along. It's taking a little longer than expected, but I had a lot of requests for this developer. So I think that you're going to like the website very soon when it launches. If you don't know by now, I have sort of officially launched the PTB Media Network. So I have combined with a partner. I've combined with Leo Kukakis of DGens United. He is my normal guest on the Parking the Bus podcast every Sunday night. We do a segment together called the Sunday Night Sportsbook. He's into sports betting. His podcast, DGens United, is all about sports betting. He covers a lot of soccer from a betting standpoint. And we work together a lot. So we decided to join forces and make this a network. And we are working right now in hammering out the final details to really launch this network, both with a website, a YouTube channel, and of course, more and more podcasts. So if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't yet, hit subscribe right down there. All right. So you can get all of the content that I put out on YouTube going forward in 2020. 2021, there will be a lot more YouTube, a lot more video content that will accompany the podcast. There'll be a lot more written content as well. As my alarm goes off right now, as you can see here, it is 2:30 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. It's the time I normally wake up to go to work. So, yeah, I wanted to get this episode done. This episode took me quite a while to finish. I recorded the episode you just listened to over the course of about 3.5 days. It was very hard to get the time to rewatch the match and rewatch it closely enough to be able to analyze it the way that I did, and I think I'm pretty happy with what I came up with. I'm really happy with the way that the rest of the episode came out. And it was like watching a brand new game the second time because the emotion had been removed. I was no longer rooting. I knew the results, so I was watching and looking for explanation as to why. All right, so why I have this extra segment here, this one exclusive for Mr. Benfica, of course, is to talk about this. If you're looking, you probably can't read it yet. What I have here is an article from O Observador in Portuguese, okay? Because I found that covering the topic I'm about to talk about, this is the most balanced coverage of it, okay? So we're going to talk about those rivals up north, and we're going to talk about their bicada, as they call it, okay? They are trying, again, to provoke us. I have never seen a club in any sport, in any country, that behaves this way. I'm not talking about fans. It's normal for supporters to provoke each other. It's even normal for players to go back and forth with each other. But the club's official communications department, through their official Twitter page, tweeted the following just minutes while our players are on the pitch, our youth players. Let me first clarify. We're talking about a youth team. While our youth players were on the pitch crying their eyes out, losing another European final, they're being consoled by the manager of Real Madrid, by Raul Gonzalez, a man who many are tipping to be the successor to Zinedine Zidane someday at Los Blancos, at Los Merengues, to carry Real Madrid into the next decade, if you will. Okay, a manager full of class. Okay, I said earlier in the podcast, I was fortunate to meet Raul once upon a time, and he was just so gracious, so humble in the 15 seconds I got to speak to him. He was so happy to meet people and to just take pictures with people. And he's got the class and understands that this match could have gone either way. Okay, this match could have gone either way. He knows that Benfica were the better team in terms of skill, and he knows he caught Benfica on a bad day. Okay. Those morons up north, they tweeted this out, and I've got it right here, and I'm going to read it. I'll read it in Portuguese first, and then I'll translate like I usually do. From the official FC Porto Twitter. This is so shameful. So disgraceful. I've never that an official club Twitter would tweet this out. Ready? Recordar é viver. O Futebol Clube do Porto é o único clube português campeão europeu do Sub-19. A primeira foi de vez. Translation. To remember is to relive, if you will. FC Porto are the only Portuguese champion, only Portuguese European champion under 19. The first time was enough, or the first time we succeeded. Now, this literally dropped minutes after the final whistle. They had this thing prepared. The headline in O Observador here, okay, the newspaper, very good newspaper. There's not much good media in Portugal. O Observador is a good media outlet. Okay, I listen to their history podcasts, nothing to do with football. They actually give you some accurate history. They tone down the bias, okay? It's less political, it's more factual. So that in itself makes me believe their journalism a little bit more. And this article is very even and it's very neutral, and they just report facts. Their headline, Futebol Clube do Porto picou Benfica após a derrota na Youth League e jovens responderam. Futebol português nunca irá evoluir. That's in quotes. Okay. Their headline is FC Porto poked Benfica after their defeat in the Youth League. And Benfica's youth players responded, Portuguese football will never evolve. These kids have 100 times more class than these adults at that club up north. This is done specifically to provoke. Okay, this is a club. Okay, this is a club that when our team goes into their city, finds mannequins hanging from a viaduct, wearing our uniforms next to a referee, hanging. A club that prides itself on intimidation. A club that wants to use hate and violence to motivate. I'm not talking about fans, okay? I'm not talking about supporters. Don't tweet at me about things Benfica fans have chanted. Don't tweet at me about that, or even things players have said. I'm talking about official club board members, club officials. I'm talking about their official communications department. This is absolutely beyond ridiculous, beyond embarrassing, not for Portuguese football, but for Portuguese society. I don't want to hear what some of the comments on Abola would say that, oh, we're saying that now. How about us shutting off the lights and turning on the sprinklers? You're going to compare shutting off the stupid lights and turning on sprinklers to provoking a youth team? To poking fun at a youth team in a youth tournament? That club, there is no travesty fair enough that would make me feel like that club got what they deserved. Not if they were completely busted by authorities and sent to the amateur levels would I find that just for them. That is still too lenient on that club. We had the chance, our club had the chance to bury this club. We had a chance to step on the head of the snake and cut it off. But because our president wanted to just save his money, wanted to put it in China, build hotels, not put it in players and put it on the pitch, we let them take 2 out of the last 3 titles from us. Had we invested properly 3 seasons ago, these morons would be out of work. These morons would be just like our other rivals. They'd be fighting 3rd and 4th place right now. They'd be passed by Braga. Had we done this right, we would have buried them. If we had the killer instinct that they have, okay? I don't like that club, but I respect one thing about them. That is the killer instinct, and that they go into every match to win, and that they want to ruin us. Why do we not have the same fire? Why do we not have the same hunger to bury them? Now, with that said, this is shameful, and I'm going to read you the response from some of Benfica's players. I'm going to start with Rafael Brito, okay? Kid came on at halftime, had a good second half, actually really helped the team. His tweet is the one that you heard in the headline. Rafael Brito tweets: Futebol português nunca irá evoluir com este tipo de comportamentos. Portuguese football will never evolve with this type of behavior. Kid's 19 years old. He's smarter than Pinto da Costa. He's smarter than Jota Marques. How about Thiago Araújo? Great performance from Thiago Araújo over 3 matches. This kid can play right forward, left defense, left midfield, right midfield. He responds to the tweet with: Fique incrédulo com o que vejo aqui. Por isso é que somos bem mais superiores, somos Benfica. Translation: I'm incredulous with what I see here. It's because of this that we are very much superior. We are Benfica. If those players in the first team don't have the motivation to go out and kick the crap out of these bastards this year, pardon my language, what the hell is going to motivate our first team? You got them picking on your youth team. If we don't go into that first match, it's not until the 14th round, unfortunately. But if we don't go into that match wanting to kick their teeth in, wanting to match them physically, because they're going to try to intimidate us, it's time we go into the fight ready to fight. It's time we stand our ground and defend our own pride against them. Once they lose that, they have nothing on us. They can't play football like us. All they have is their intimidation. All they have is their physicality. If we go in there brave, stand our ground, I want to see us bury this team so bad. They can't even win a league. They are the defending league and cup double winners. And they stoop to tweeting about our youth team? How small of a mentality does that club have? Are we always in their mind? Are they that obsessed? I think they are. I think they're ill, to be honest with you. I think Porto, as a club, is very mentally ill. They have the inferiority complex, a Napoleonic complex that no club on earth has, except maybe Sporting. They might be even worse. Here's a tweet from Benfica's presidential candidate, João Noronha Lopes, on his official Twitter. Reação lamentável e reveladora de pequenez. First line means a lamentável, that's a lamentful in English reaction, a sorry reaction, and it's a revelation of smallness, if you will. A transformação que queremos no Benfica e no futebol português também deve passar por aqui. The transformation, the change we want, not only in Benfica, but in Portuguese football, has to pass through this as well. Needs to have an influence on this as well. Precisamos de melhores intervenientes em todas as dimensões do futebol. We need to have better intermediaries in all of the dimensions of sport. I'm blown away. Just when I think that club cannot get any lower, cannot get any more pathetic, they surprise me with that. All right, I have had your attention for almost 2 hours now. Thank you for sticking with me through this. This has been episode 79. Don't forget to check out the PTB Media Network, okay, on Twitter at PTB_media. All right. Don't forget to go over to the Park and the Bus channel and catch some of the shows over there. I've been putting out a lot of content, all right? Park and the Bus every Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time here in the United States. That is 1 a.m. in Portugal, all right, for those of you listening over there, where I touch on some non-Benfica related stuff. I really appreciate the support over there. Also, more stuff coming out this week, okay? I've got a reaction and a review of Benfica Bournemouth, first team match from this past Sunday. That's coming in a few days, maybe a day or two. We got a game against Braga tomorrow. Maybe there'll be a review of that. We'll see if I'm able to see the match, and we'll take it from there. And then, of course, as I've promised, I have the 1989-1990 season review to close the season, and maybe have with a couple days to spare before the new one begins. All right. Also, this coming weekend, okay, September the 5th, be on the lookout for Benfica After 90s YouTube channel. All right. I'm gonna be visiting with them to watch a seleção. All right, we're gonna be covering the Portuguese national team match against Croatia this weekend. I'm gonna be appearing on their YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out this coming weekend. All right, and as always, follow all the material and all the content here on Mr. Benfica and on the PTB Media Network. And if you're into sports betting, go over to Leo's page, to my boy Leo. All right, it's DGens United Podcast. That's DEGENS United Podcast. You want to win some money, you listen to that guy, all right? He's the Greek freak. He knows how to win money, and he gives great advice, and he's got great picks every single day. He's got 7 podcasts a week, 7 episodes a week, 7 days, every single day. All right. Thank you for sticking with me. This has been episode 79. As I said, Mr. Benfica, this concludes our trip through the 2019-2020 UEFA Youth League. Boys, keep your heads up, okay? Yes, we lost. Yes, there's reasons we lost that are on us and not on some stupid curse, okay? Let's correct our mistakes and let's go forward. There's a lot of talent in that team. There's a lot of promise down the road, okay? They all have a good chance to be very successful professionals, and I am rooting for every single one of them. And I am proud of those boys, and I'm proud of the way that they compose themselves in the face of insults from an immature, childish, classless club from up north. That's it for this week, for this episode. Have a great week, everybody. I'll talk to you in a few days. I am the Mr. Mike Agustino, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Benfica Mister. See you next time.